Hello and welcome back to IEM Gyeonggi. It's me, Pulse. I'm still with Deficio. We are still here for Game 3 of this final best of 3 we have today in Group A. Winner will be advancing to the semi-finals, while the loser will be dropping out of the tournament. And it's all come down to this, Deficio. Immortals versus J-Team. J-Team took Immortals to a third game. Despite how Game 1 went and how Immortals been looking over the day, J-Team have pushed them to the limit.
Sadly for J-Team, they were slower than Immortals. That means Immortals, of course, get blue side here in the last deciding BO3, or deciding game here in the BO3. And honestly, we couldn't ask for much more. Like, it's the decider match between two teams here who are pretty even in terms of the overall level. And we get like the third game where we get to see like who actually ends up advancing from this group, because there is a very real possibility that these two teams can actually really challenge the teams from the other group, where I only feel like Kongdu Monster and maybe Team Liquid, depending on how well they mesh early, can actually do anything against the teams from this group.
It's really just like a dice roll, right, of like how the teams will perform coming into this, because most of these lineups have only come together a couple days ago, and it's like this is their first test and their first chance to see how the team meshes, how they actually work on the Rift, and that's such a big thing, because for most teams, it's going to be like a month or so before like LCS starts, the local league starts. They won't even get a chance to start playing as a team. So IEM Gyeonggi here, great chance for the teams to actually see how they work together. So far, you can see a lot of cracks within these teams, but to be expected, because they haven't been together long at all.
No, of course, and I actually think because this is like the first tournament for so many lineups, it is important. I can see some people say like, oh, maybe it's not that important because LCS is not in a month, you know, so it doesn't matter how you perform here, but it actually does matter quite a lot for like team morale, for the coaches when they're looking at their players, how they're playing.
Did we make a right decision picking up this player?
Exactly. And also for the fans, obviously, watching, like, if a player who is a new player on the roster plays fantastic in this tournament, well, suddenly a lot of fans are going to feel great about him coming into the LCS. So these games here are important to kind of test the lineups, and especially important for the teams to figure out what is our strong points, what is our weak points, because those are the things you can then fix before LCS starts, and you get a head start there. So it is very, very important that you test every single thing here in these games.
So it's not all been negative, though. We've seen many glimmers of hope from both teams, particularly in the individual players and their performances. You can make highlight reels of pretty much every single player who's in this game, for the most part. Well, let's get into these picks and bans, though. Twitch, again, going to be that first ban away from J-Team. Not going to allow BB to get his hands on that from J-Team. Take it away from J-Team.
Take it away, you're right. Yeah. Stealing it away by banning.
Yes. That's the magic.
That's actually what happened. Anyway, it's literally just a Twitch ban. Let's move on with our lives.
Yep.
Last time they banned Zyra and Maokai. So they've been banning Maokai twice now. Morning obviously liked to play Maokai quite a lot earlier today. And
it's fine on Poppy, though.
I mean, again, Maokai, Poppy, potato, it literally doesn't matter.
Well, there's more skill to Poppy. Like, lining up the heroic charge and getting that consistently is a bit of skill to that one. Timing as well for said fast presence, landing a good ultimate. There's more to it. Maokai, hit the W, click on a target. Let's go. I've engaged. Labong, though, going to be the first ban from J-Team. Tam Kench, taken away from J, was a big decider in the last game, honestly. Denied 3 of the big ultimates from Immortals composition.
Ended up being even better than expected because Immortals fell so far behind, so whenever they tried to team fight, it would be like one by one kind of trying to go in, and then Tam Kench is obviously fantastic, you know. Like, it's just an Ash arrow, that's gonna eat that guy, and then if no one follows up and kicks the other squishy carry somewhere, well then obviously
Devour's back up.
You know, Devour's gonna come back up later, and he's gonna save another target, so that ended up being super effective for J-Team, and I guess it makes a lot of sense banning it away. First pick Wise, we might see the Syndra first pick again. Ryze has not been contested in this series at all. Both mid laners, probably not really too hyped about the pick specifically. We still have the Lee Sin Rek'Sai trade we've seen so often. We have the Poppy Nautilus trade we're most likely going to see again unless some of the teams want to switch it up.
True. Bod, Maokai, and Syndra to be expected.
Of course, Darius first pick. Classic.
The classic. Cassiopeia was good for Fofo last game, but it wasn't the reason really why they won. It was more him getting fed off of mistakes from Immortals. So first pick, Ashe over to IMT.
Yeah, I like it. You ban away the Tam Kench, who is obviously very annoying to play against when you are Ashe. So first picking it makes a lot of sense. It's really been like the S tier 80 carry so far in the tournament. Just because, again, super strong laning phase and ability to set up plays so effectively. Let's see if J-Team is afraid of Dardoch's Rek'Sai that he carried on in Game 1, or if they're afraid of his Lee Sin that he didn't carry on in Game 2. And it looks like the Rek'Sai is the one they respect the most. Cassiopeia is not as strong of a pick now because Orianna is still open. And Pobella can just play Orianna into Cassiopeia, and at level 6, Orianna starts actually winning that matchup.
See, that's what he does. He doesn't have to pick it now. He's in no rush. There's a Lee Sin over to Dardoch as well. Dardoch didn't have the best performance last game. Wasn't due to his mechanics, more decision making. So,
and he's definitely fine taking Lee Sin again, just instant locking it, just like last time. Zyra, Karma, like the two supports we're looking at, as we often see, and there's the Orianna as mentioned, which is a big difference because the last game, in case you guys missed the pick and ban phase, J-Team banned Orianna and then first picked Cassiopeia to avoid that potential counter, but now Pobella gets it, and that is really important for Immortals. Very good setup so far to really punish the Cassiopeia in mid lane. Like once again with the level 6 and Orianna ultis, Cassiopeia has to flash, and then there's just an easy follow-up gank because Lee Sin shows up, and Cassiopeia can't really do anything other than try and stun him, which to be fair did work.
And Immortals just matching mid laner for jungler, and likewise vice versa. Poppy picked up here for J-Team as well, getting the priority on the top laner they wanted for Morning and Thresh pickup.
Just give me Zyra and Nautilus here, and I think Immortals have won this pick and ban phase. Zyra Ashe is gonna win the bot lane against any AD carry that can be picked on the side of J-Team, and then you have a good matchup mid lane. I guess there is case to be made for Alistar. Some people like picking tank supports against Thresh, again, because he can't punish them hard enough in the laning phase. And if Thresh ever engages on the AD carry, Alistar just combos the enemy AD carry, and if you engage on the Alistar, well, you don't obviously really want to do that. So it opens up for these much stronger team fighting supports when the enemy team has locked in Thresh early. Still think just going straight for pure laning phase and dominance is my preferred strategy, but obviously Immortals also testing a lot of things here, because you can see there's so many differences. They could have just gone Karma Zyra here, but no, they said now we're going to test out this Alistar against Thresh specifically.
Also picking a carry top laner here against Morning, so picking up that cannon. We saw the matchup the other way earlier. Morning, game 1, had that cannon into the Poppy, had some great team fights, but eventually outscaled there by the Poppy. We'll see if that remains true for this third and final game. It will be the decider for Group A. Winner advancing to semis. Final pick gonna be that Jhin there.
Risky pick here from J-Team. I mean, you're playing Jhin Cassiopeia without any proper peeling. Thresh is not proper peel against like hard engage. Janna is proper peel against hard engage, as an example. You're playing Jhin Cassiopeia against Alistar, Lee Sin with a shockwave from Orianna, and a flank from Protobelt Kennen. Immortals, if they get out of the laning phase, which they should be, they should be able to get out of the laning phase, even that bot lane in the 2v2, and not be behind, they're gonna have a big advantage when it comes to starting these team fights here. And if they can just execute properly, they're gonna get to these carries every single time with their composition. And then it doesn't matter Poppy Rek'Sai is sitting in front of them, because they're not gonna stop you from getting to these carries. Might stop the Alistar from headbutting, but then suddenly the flank from Kennen is gonna happen. The Lee Sin flies past the tanks, and then these squishes in the back, they're gonna get shockwave, they're gonna die.
And then it's just straight up game over. A couple seconds remaining until we get into game, guys. We have no hashtags for you. Usually this is where I'd call them out. But we're here in the OGN studios for IEM Gyeonggi. Really hyped to see how this final game turns out. And we're about to find out as we head into game. Here we go. Game 3 of this decider set. Group A, Immortals versus J Team. This will decide who will be heading to semis, who will be leaving us. And we'll get into this one. This will be our final game regardless. That is how this tournament format works. And of course, best of threes work. Someone will have to win this game. There are no draws in League of Legends. Fofo has been revealed.
Unless you're EULCS.
Alright, fair enough.
fair.
Yeah, that's true. But not in this format. In the best of threes, it has to be a winner.
Has to be a winner. Definitely true. And as we talked about a lot in the Champ Select, Immortals getting better answers against the Cassiopeia now with the Orianna pick, even with Alistar, very specifically picked for these team fights where it's easy for Alistar to get onto these carries. Yes, in theory, a Poppy can sit in front of them with W and like stop the headbutt, but most of the time Poppy's TPing in to join the fight, and then Alistar's already engaged on the backline, and Thresh is not the answer when it comes to peeling against so many forms of engages. One of them he can handle, being it the Lee Sin flying in, he can flay that, but when it's
like
two
four.
or three of them, there is very little good old Thresh can do to then save his two squishes in the back. But obviously Jay is going to try and create some picks with their Jhin in the bottom lane. For now though, we get to see. So what I'm also doing here is they're actually baiting that Dardoch is starting on bot side. So they hit the red buff to take a little bit of damage. So you can see there's a little bit of damage taken on the side of Ollie on the Alistar. And they walk into lane in bot lane, same timing as if they were actually leashing red buff for Dardoch. So now J-Team thinks Lee Sin started on bottom side, but he actually started on top side. So it's all mind games from Immortals here. Let's see how they use the pathing then from Dardoch. Just doing a full clear on top side, and really right now J-Team has actually no idea where exactly he is on the map.
So really just pulling everything out of the bag for this final game, because this is the elimination game, so use all the tricks that you have remaining. So very cool to see a little bit of adaptation there. Archie in this mid lane. He's thinking about this mid lane gank. He's level 3 against Pobelter's level 2. Seeker lands. That's the ghost being popped. Pobelter still has his flash and will hold on to it, so we'll work out for him. Dardoch
didn't show, yeah. He
just went through the mid lane. Will carry on to his Raptor camp now. Fofo still has that advantage in the mid lane now over Pobelter, clearing away this, so 5 gold in the bank.
And we've seen this Rek'Sai gank in mid a few times now, where you just do like red buff into Crooks and then you get level 3, and instead of going top lane to gank, you just go straight to mid lane. Much easier lane to gank, obviously, this early on with the Rek'Sai, and try and force like a summoner. Top lane was also open. Kennen is pushing now, but would have been a little bit too late for Archie. Obviously, he wants to go straight into a gank and then do a camp. Dardoch now been getting a full clear bot lane. Has not shown yet. Just walked past the mid lane. Doesn't seem like Immortals has anything else planned after their fake leash. And he will just get a full clear, get to go back to base, farm towards level 6, and then look for openings on the map.
Flame getting a nice push in the top lane as well. 10 CS differential. Morning's going to resolve most of that as it heads into tower though.
Lane.
He's looking for that lane gank here. Deficio, Cody's son, and Ollie maybe trying to set this up for him. Ollie does have that flash, so trying to get in range for that one.
Yeah, sadly, the bot lane from J-Team is just too far back. It's not often junglers after starting red buff will then do like the entire clear towards blue buff and then go all the way back down to Crooks. So J-Team definitely did not expect Dardoch to be on bottom side there, which could have been the reason for that fake leash, and then try and set up a gank at like level 3 bottom lane with Alistar like flash combo and knock someone back. But because the lane is pushed towards J-Team's tower, Dardoch not able to do anything and has to just go back after his full clear and wait for camps to respawn. Archie around mid lane for a second time. Pobelter is pushing and will now ward and actually try and find and get him with the plant as well, spotting Archie on the map.
Archie heads back to his jungle. He knew that Lee Sin had cleared out those Merc Wolves. Dardoch looking for a gank in the top lane. Morning down to about a third health. Could be a good gank for him, but we'll see Archie now. Double pings go down, and Morning trying to make his way all the way back to his tower, but he's going to walk up and just take him out.
Yeah, really smart play here from Dardoch. He doesn't just Sonic Wave towards Morning and then like follow it up, because then he gets interrupted by the Poppy W. He literally just instant ward jumps to Morning, surprising him, so he's not ready with W, and he just goes straight into melee range of him, and then he fires the Q and actually kills him. Really smart play from Dardoch, and doing the unexpected So Morning is not ready to either flash or use his W, and therefore he goes down. Smart play. And this Lee Sin is off to a good start after a strong first clear and now first blood as well.
Yeah, more of what we were expecting to see from Dardoch's Lee Sin in that game too, but this time also made the right decision to go with that.
Yeah, and much better laning phase from Flame on the cannon compared to what we saw Morning do in the first game of this series. Flame was able to push it all the way into tower, being able to keep Morning like fairly low as well on HP. It was all Flame's work, getting Morning down to 40% HP, and then Dardoch could finish him.
And he got the assist as well,
he
so
got
it's
the
not
assist.
like he didn't lose out from it.
He's a happy man. He denied some CS as well for Morning. Might see a follow-up gank. Use the blast cone to jump over so you save all your abilities as the Lee Sin.
Mornings, he's already used the W, so Dardoch, as long as he can land the Q, which he does not, sidestep from Morning, would have been a secure kill. But either way, well played by Morning there with a nice cheeky little sidestep.
And I like we see more and more how junglers are using blast cones to jump these walls into the river bushes, just to save abilities they can use for the gank. We've seen it with Rek'Sai saving the tunnel, so they have it for the gank. Now saving the safeguard from Dardoch, so you had it again. Once he actually entered lane, smart thing to look for when you are a jungler in solo queue as well. Archie gets it, but might die. Nope.
Good flash out of the ultimate there from Pobelter. He'll be staying alive for this one, so hopefully that still was worth it for him. Probably not for the flash. But he at least got away with his life and has been farming up a Storm while Dardoch has looked for those ganks. Flame continuing to push in this top lane. Significant advantage over Morning now.
Yeah, he needs to just keep the pressure up here. You want to keep chunking this Poppy down so you can threaten to dive her again with Lee Sin up in the top lane, because we know Poppy's going to hit that late game point where she's just like unkillable. Kennen can't really touch her. But until she hits that point, you can put pressure in that lane. You can try and abuse it. And that again, that's what we like to see in a meta where everyone's just picking tanks, tanks, tanks. When you change and pick that carry, you can play around that lane. You can get an advantage. Try and take that tower down on top side instead. And then when you do TP to the bottom lane, you're 2 or 3-0 Kennen, and you're much stronger than the Poppy joining, and you can really use that to snowball games.
Yeah, right now, almost doubling the farm from Morning. Flame Horizon may get to use his namesake here in this game.
Yeah, because if Morning stays, then Dardoch will just hand off blue buff to Pobelter and then just go top and kill him. You can even see Ollie is on the way, joining Pobelter here. Morning just cancel his recall. He's gonna regret that, because 2 members are on their way. Didn't even stop to give blue buff to Pobelter because they didn't want to show their position on top side. They wanted to save that for later. Don't want to reveal anything. And now they're ready for dive number 2. Morning realizing something is wrong because there's only Ashe showing bottom lane. There's no support at the moment. Interrupted anyway, 3v2.
Ollie coming in. Well, there is Archie to try and salvage the situation. Poppycopter being charged after, takes away the minions, Q lands, W comes up, Morning's down for the count. Archie was not able to get that counter gank off, and Ollie trying to make his way out. Trample has been activated, Flame landing the Q, and the exhaust as well to slow him down, but Fofo coming out, lands the flash ultimate. Ollie will be the sacrificial cow here, a 1-for-1 trade.
So 1-for-1 in the end. Immortals had to wait a little bit too long. Jay doesn't really have any damage.
No, but he does have an ally to come after him, using a nice W coming out. Dardoch will smite away the blue buff, but not enough help to keep him alive. Really well played by Jay at the end.
Yeah, just as we could predict the top lane dive, so could Jay team. Knowing that Morning was under pressure, they saw the Alistar was missing bot lane. They're like, okay, they're surely here on top side. Immortals had to wait with the dive, and then when they went for the dive, they invested a lot. Jay with another big play.
Another great hook into the lantern, but Pobelter with the return shockwave is enough to keep him alive. Jay locked up, and Ollie comes in as well for the follow-up. Regardless, BB's there with the ultimate coming in, raining down hell on Ollie. No ultimate to speak of. Pobelter trying to keep him alive, but 4th shot is enough to kill him. Archie in very deep. Dardoch trying to get in there. Does not land the Q to follow up. So J-Team get the slight advantage.
Yeah, Jay's being a boss on Thresh at the moment, walking around the map, making plays. We see some of their synergy issues there from Immortals and the new roster. Ollie, of course, the newest member on the team, tried to go for the full combo. Cast us again. There we go. Get the replay instead. This again where Immortals have to wait for such a long time. Like, look how much time they're spending top here. Look at your minimap, guys. Now people are moving from the mid lane to join them top. Morning does a good job trying to buy a little bit extra time and keeping Immortals under the tower. Ghost being popped very early as well. from Fofo to get to the top lane faster, and they're able to collapse and return. But we just saw that synergy issue where Ollie goes in for the full combo when Pobuilder was not in a position to move the ball. Like, it's very short range, actually, the Q from Orianna. So he wasn't in a position to move the ball to actually deal damage to Jay. So Ollie just ended up doing his combo for basically nothing, and then he was stuck in there with no flash, and he ended up going down a second time.
Because you're always looking for that cowball combo. Did not work out this time. Jay, though, playing out of his mind, having a lot of good picks. Definitely deserves the name of Jay and J Team, because he is carrying this team.
It's obviously, yeah, that's what the J stands for in J Team. It's just Jay's team.
It is Jay's team. He deserves it. 0-0-2. Fantastic hook follow-ups. Dardoch trying to get this bottom lane tower with his team. Reaction from Archie, though, means that he cannot make that happen. And Fofo was thinking of coming down as well, just in case there was a fight. So he'll go back to mid lane, clear out this wave, and even up that farm advantage. So we are back to even 4 now in terms of gold.
And the plan doesn't necessarily change too much for Immortals here, because they still have that winning matchup on top side. The only other advantage they have now is Alistar is 6. And you have Ash Arrow as well, so if you're able to push in the bottom side, you can force a dive, but it can be very tricky to do, and you know then Morning is going to TP down as well, and you're investing a lot to the dive. But Dardoch is down here to try and pull off the play. They want to really just make sure Flame can keep pushing topside and get damage on this tower and just slowly take it down. Because that's just going to be a free objective for Immortals without any counterplay from J-Team, really. And that's going to be extra gold then for the North American team. Here's that dive setup, or the potential of it. They're actually airing.
Has been launched, but it's actually Archie who gets luck amongst the Pobelter, followed up by the Petrifying Gaze. Pobelter down, Dardoch trying to get out. He's slowed out by the trap from BB, but the Blast Cone will knock him right into a Cassiopeia. Meanwhile, Ollie being chased down by BB. Nice kill over to him, and Dardoch corralled back into Cassiopeia. Third shot lands, 4-0. J-Team 7-2, massive advantage now over Immortals.
Yeah, really hard to see what actually happened because the camera cut away just when we saw the engage in the bottom lane, but as we talked about, that dive bot lane could be risky, and let's see what actually happens. The arrow just straight into Jay. Good exhaust as well, and then he gets the strength of the Colossus, or Curse of the Colossus shield coming in, and really just not the target you're looking for. Their shield from the Keystone is just too strong, and Thresh stays alive, and everything honestly goes wrong here for Immortals. And it's in a situation where you have that winning top lane already. This top lane tower is down to about 10%. You could just move Dardoch top lane, push in with Flame, and just take that tower for free, and there's nothing J-Team's going to do as a response. Because diving for them, bot lane is also risky against, of course, the Alistar. But instead, Immortals overplay their hand.
Significant overplay. 2,000 gold advantage now to a J-Team. 3 kills in the mid lane, 3 kills to the ADC. Looking pretty dire for Immortals. And last game, they're able to stall it out because of some mistakes from J-Team. But they weren't ultimately able to bring it back.
All right, we're back to plan number 1. Let's get that top lane tower down. That's what Immortals is saying at the moment. This basically means that there's nothing Morning can do because Dardoch is on top side, and that tower should go down if Flame just hits it once or twice. And then you take that objective and you just make sure that your bot lane doesn't get dove on the bottom side.
Dardoch jumps in, Safeguard lands, Maelstrom comes out, but Archie's instantly there with a follow-up. Morning should be going down, but he's still alive. Dardoch trying to get away here, will jump towards his minions, lands a kill onto Archie, just enough down to finish it up along with Flame. Very clean, double kill to the cannon.
Yeah, that's the play we wanted to see before here. Finally, Immortals takes the tower down, and they even get 2 kills in return. J-Team now, the team overplaying their hand, thinking they can stop this from happening and take the 2v2 trade against a 141 CS cannon with an already completed proto belt. Backfired big time. Those 2 level advantage as well for Flame. Might have gotten the last level after the kills, but at least a level advantage for him. So both teams are making over-aggressive plays.
Yeah.
Both teams getting punished for it now. This is the correct move by Immortals bottom lane as well. You know you just invested everything on top side, so just step away in case the enemy is going missing, because then they might actually dive you. But as soon as they realize it's just Fofo, and he's on his way out, they can return. So now it's a free tower for Immortals. J-Team not getting anything in return. So good answer here. Fofo is still getting scary again, though. What a great game he had before. And I'm really glad to see him show up, because he was one of the guys we hyped. We talked about this in the last series. 17-year-old, like, wonder kid from the LMS.
Yep.
And been having some really good games, except for the very first one today.
And generally you could say the same about the entirety of J-Team in that first game. It wasn't necessarily Fofo who was leading the team to their demise. But definitely later, and the further this tournament has gone on over the first day, Fofo has been stepping up. On the bright side for Immortals as well, Flame, 3 kills, pretty big himself, 2 items spike. Gets into those team fights, can get that perfect Smeb ultimate. Archie burning in the flash as well from Povelta, so very messy game once again. Lots of kills, lots of action.
I mean, I like it. I actually think this game, there's, of course, yeah, there have been some over-aggressive moves for sure, but I think most of the plays you can defend and say, nah, actually here it makes sense what you're trying to do.
Messy doesn't necessarily mean bad, it just means there's been a lot of action.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
sloppy play.
I think very naturally in a standard lane meta, you just have some of these games where there is more action, and when there is more action, when there is more plays being forced, there tend to also be more mistakes. Like that's just how it naturally is, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think actually, again, most of the plays in this game have been pretty good. And Flame is setting up for a big play mid. He has a lot of damage with that Void Staff completed as a second item. Trying to go for dive, but a lot of JT members are moving towards this mid lane. Might actually be a 5-on-5 team fight.
Gotta be careful, and Flame now under attack. He's gone a little bit too deep as he was trying to get back to his team. Curtain Call is nicely blocked out there by the cow. No casualties on the side of Immortals. So for now, they are good. Get that nice zoom in of Flame.
Does suck a bit for Flame losing the flash here, but good defense from J-Team. Trying to hold this tower now, but Rek'Sai is bot lane and Morning is coming from top. Trying to maybe see if they can flank. Morning is moving behind Immortals at the moment. Dalek is trying to do the same. Here's Puppey.
Well, it lands the verdict onto Flame.
That wasn't hyped at all.
No, I thought we were going to get a big team fight, but
yeah. No one else ready to engage. And everyone seems to back away. Kind of waiting for that Ash arrow to be fired as well, but it's on cooldown right now.
And he's bot lane. He's ready to split push.
Yeah, he's split pushing. I mean, this bot lane tower is very low, and if they can defend mid on the side of Immortals, they will be able to get that free tower. So them kind of forcing J-Team to defend the mid tower allows Cody-san to just push out the bottom side and get that tower down, and J-Team not able to respond. Second tower going down, but J-Team cannot really react.
Yeah, very easy tower for him, so he's good to go. Ollie's there as well to support him, just in case a single member happened to come down, and then the ultimate chain lands, and there's going to be a kill. So, tower over to Immortals, and also the Dragons, so nice bit of spike in power, and they have regained the gold advantage. So, Immortals actually in pretty good shape right now, after a pretty disastrous early game, where J-Team were able to pick up kill after kill, and solidify their gold lead on both the mid laner and ADC.
And it's good to see Flame on a carry, taking over the lane, and honestly just using that massive advantage on top side to create this gold lead for his team, because he's sitting with an insane CS lead. He has taken down that tower, he's picked up kills, and once he gets that flash ready again, he's in prime position to like carry a team fight. And that's kind of the next step in this game here. We're gonna get one of these big fights.
It's building towards that tension point. To Fisher, the breaking point that we are looking for. Thought it was going to be Morning who was going to crack that one open, but the team wasn't really there to follow up, despite him landing the ultimate onto Flame.
Yeah, and we see one of the problems for Cassiopeia is when you actually get to siege on a tower, like, it's really hard for it to clear the wave fast enough, so all of J-Team were kind of just forced to sit behind that tower. They couldn't instantly kill the wave and force Immortals back, and they were just kind of stuck there for too long, and allowing Cody-san to go bot lane as well, and just very easily push that tower. Ollie is setting up for potential dive in the mid lane.
Yeah, he sat next to the blast cone. Maybe try and set up a sneaky cow play. But not today. There is a lot of deep vision though from Immortals, playing this very well.
Yeah, it's
Rift Herald will be saying goodbye to him for this game.
They're basically forcing J-Team to take like longer routes to try and walk between like mid and top lane and defend these tier 2 towers. And I like the fact that when you know you have a blast cone next to you, you can be a little bit more aggressive in your positioning, because you know you can just step up towards the blast cone in case the enemy shows up and just like kind of fire yourself over the wall. So Ollie probably felt pretty safe despite being behind enemy lines. And there's really no objective to fight over at the moment. It's too early for Baron. Dragon is already dead. And the tier 2 turrets are gone from the team that is behind. So Immortals are kind of like, we can't really push tier 2 towers just yet. There's too high of a chance of us getting flanked. And it's hard for us to kind of push 3 lanes at the same time and then getting a siege set up this early in the game.
Yeah.
So you're kind of just waiting right now for like second item spikes. Infinity Edge on Ashe is one of them. Death Cap for Poe Builder. And then you can start seeing like Immortals Force. They can try an arrow on the tower on someone like Jhin in a 3v3, 4v4 situation and try and see if they can then shockwave after. But that is one of the only plays they can pull off right now where nothing is really happening on the map.
Dalek taking away that Merfolk there, I believe.
Yeah, that kind of becomes the play. It's like, we can't get any big objectives, but we can get all the small objectives, which is like your jungle camps.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. We can kill your wards, we can put our own wards in your jungle, and we just kind of take over the map and we deny farm from you because you're winning the map at the moment. And then you look for these openings.
Oh, hello.
Is that a Baron rush?
Fofo clearing this one out. Jay's going to drag BB into the pit as well, and Archie's there to tank this one up. There were so many people on the bottom side, but this is risky. Immortals are on their way over. Flame, he has his ultimate. Be ugly. He doesn't have his flash though, but he has his proto belt. Dardoch does not land the Q onto the Baron, but he finds the steal. Archie gets out with the tunnel, but Fofo goes down, and Flame, huge ultimate onto 2 for the double kill, and a big swing in momentum.
J-Team realized they were losing the map. They didn't feel like they had a good way to force a fight, so they tried a sneaky Baron. Problem was that blue trinket ward was in the Baron pit, so they saw them when Fofo had to kill that blue trinket, and they could instantly react and rush over from Immortals. Could have been a good play.
But it turned out to be a very disastrous one in the end, giving 2 kills and a Baron over to Immortals. And now Archie, he tries to find a pick onto Ollie, but
Blast Cone!
Blast Cone hype!
Oh, we didn't get to see it. Man, that ward at the Baron.
Hashtag value.
Just allowed Immortals to react and get that fight. And of course, Dardoch stealing the Baron.
Yep.
As predicted in the last game.
As predicted. It was a series-long prediction.
It was. So this is the fight. Gets the Q onto Baron, jumps in. Ooh, got down to 77 HP with Archie's smite being used first. And then Dardoch's, I believe. Might actually just been just a hit as well on it. Takes down the Baron and puts Immortals in prime position to win this game now, because you have so many tools to kill the backline of J-Team. And especially a backline with no flashes. That is like too easy for an Alistar, Lee Sin, Orianna combo. And then Kennen as well, he's only 5-0, you know.
Yeah, only 5-0-1, only has triple items and will one-shot your entire team.
Right, yeah. I guess we can add him in there.
Yeah.
I mean,
6 to 7 in kills, 6,000 gold advantage. This game has swung so hard after the early game. I was like, damn, J-Team maybe able to take this game away from them with all those kills going over to them.
Just stick to the top lane, boys. When you play a carry up top, play around it.
Get Kennen fed.
Just play around it. I mean, at this point, Immortals can dive. Like, they can just dive if they want to. Put the ball on Alistar and just combo like Jhin or KCP and Shockwave, and that's a kill. Or Ashe Arrow, that works too, but you gotta follow up then.
Yeah. Okay. Orianna ultimate onto Archie, and that's a lot of damage. He is ticking down. Not sure if it's going to be enough damage. Flame catching around the outside, but it is enough for Immortals to take away that inner tower. And Miasma not doing a whole lot against this minion line. Baron minions, difficult to take out. But Cody Sun not able to step up to the tower, and he is quite low himself. So they'll take the inner tower, but that will be all that Immortals can take off of this first push.
Can go take another Cloud Drake, winning the jackpot today on the side of Immortals.
Rotations. Cody's being left on Dragon taking duty. Yeah,
might not be able to do much more with the Baron buff just now, because Cody has to go back, kind of reset the whole thing. Doesn't matter too much, seeing as the way for Immortals to win this game is through a big team fight anyway, and not like necessarily sieging turrets. So Baron buff is a bonus, but not needed to win the game with their composition. As we've highlighted multiple times, the amount of ways they can get to that backline of J-Team is just too much, honestly, for J-Team to deal with. They need to really outplay Immortals in these fights. And of course, Fofo and BB are very strong players and have been playing really well today. But it's gonna be hard for them to do it.
Yeah, especially when Flame almost has a 5,000 gold advantage over Morning.
Oh my god, Flame almost Flame Horizon.
Yeah, I was waiting for it for so long. And then Morning picked up a big wave and I was like, god damn it. But he is only 9 CS away. And will Flame Horizon Morning. Exciting. Ollie carrying away these wards. Lots of deep vision. Good to see that continuously picking up these control wards. And good guy Dardock with the double control ward pickup along with Ollie. So they can
classic team player.
Keep pushing it in. What a team player. Definitely deserves
I just want to see a dive. Like, I know they're not going to do it, but until the flashes are ready on the side of J-Team, it's such an easy like kill. Yeah. But it's risky, obviously. You have a big advantage. No reason to try and throw it away. If they know the time is on the flashes, then they can look for it. Otherwise, try and wait for something else like that. Flame getting caught out.
Yeah. Maybe Archie is the one getting caught out. Nope. Nice Lancing from Jake.
That means, Pulse, it's probably time to wait for Baron.
And it's at least over 2 minutes away. I know that for certain. Because there is no timer. And Cody's son, he is by himself with Povelter. So, yep, looks like we are going to be waiting for Baron. 2 minutes on the clock. So, yeah, we've got 2 minutes to kill.
That is one of the things I feel like is needed in a game like that. Needs to be... Oh, never mind, Jay. No, he's fine. Like, there needs to be some other way to kind of push your advantage and get into the enemy base. Because so many games, ever since, like, Worlds, basically, or even, like, playoffs, or, like, you get an advantage early, you clear out the 3 or the 6 outer turrets, and you just kind of sit there and you're like, alright, it's really hard now to like push all the way into the base because everyone gets like home guards instantly, so if they just recall back to base, they're instantly out and defending, and a lot of them run a lot of wave clear. What teams used to do, you like get like ban of command to stop like evict or something from killing the wave, and you try and use that, but a lot of games slow down a lot.
Especially around this time.
Yeah, around this time they slow down. Because you need the first Baron is where you take all the outer turrets, like the last tier 2 turrets.
Right.
And then the second Baron is where you get into the base and you break the base open, and sometimes you even need a third Baron to get all the inhibs down. We've definitely seen those things before, but on 2 Barons typically you are inside the base, and that should be enough to kind of have a big enough advantage to close out the game.
But the problem is, Immortals were not able to crack that base in the first place. So without that inhibitor down and super minions pushing down the lane, then we're just in this situation. However,
it's where you get the second Baron, and then that opens.
But the great thing about being a caster when you're with Deficio is he will fill that 2 minutes for you. So we were waiting for that 2 minutes, and we've only got 15 seconds left.
There we go!
And then Baron's ready! Boom!
Insane!
Good stuff, good stuff. And we've got the Flame Horizon as well. Everything's coming up casters right now.
We're getting it. Oh, potential flank.
Or not.
Never mind.
The J-Team have had a lot of anticlimactic engages. It's like,
yeah.
Here comes Morning with the verdict. Here comes Archie with the knock.
Yeah, flanking when you have Cassiopeia Jhin, it's also pretty damn useless because they're never going to follow up anyway. They're like, hang on.
We'll get there in a minute.
Really far away. Kind of waiting for Immortals to pull off their flank instead. Should be a lot more explosive.
Flame versus blue buff.
Stealing everything in this game. You don't even need that blue buff, silly cannon. Actually, it's pretty good because you get AP.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that juicy energy regen.
Alright, Baron is up, boys. That means we start the Baron. That means we get some action now because J-Team will have to try and stop this Baron or lose the game.
Border of the wall from Archie. Sees it. 4,000 health. Cue over the wall from Dardock. What you doing? Gonna kick away Fofo. Jump back to his team. Ollie's taking a lot of damage. Redemption. Pop up.
Good prediction with the flash from Fofo there. Knowing that Dardock will try and kick Flash him back anyway. Or Flash kick him back. And therefore he stays alive. But had used both summoners. That means now Ollie should look for Fofo. Just put the ball on Alistar. Flash combo on the Cassiopeia and Shockwave. And she is dead.
Send in the cow.
The next 4 or 5 minutes, Immortals should be able to find Fofo in one of these fights.
Operation Explosive Cow. Send him in. nuke the team, bring in Flame for the flank. It's a juicy team fight ready to happen from Immortals. Just got to get that set up.
Yeah, you can also actually just use Flame's TP and then he can just one-shot the Cassiopeia. You know, both work.
Yep.
I like seeing the Alistar combo with the Shockwave, though. We haven't seen it this game. Ollie not really been able to perform on Alistar specifically. He was better on the board earlier when he played his Thresh as well.
Yep.
Haven't seen like any crazy engages from him, despite openings being there. Oh, Flame!
Oh, Fofo finding Flame. He's going to go into Zhonya's, but he is almost certainly dead. Twinifying. And a pick by J-Team will stop the Baron.
Big mistake from Flame getting caught out there.
Flame 2.
Fofo probably just ulting over the wall. Slightly out of vision, stunning him and then taking him down. That's a tower now, and this was again perfect position for Immortals to take Baron in a team fight against no summoner spells on a Cassiopeia, but it's Fofo making the big play. Ole!
And Jay making a big play as well for his team. Morning coming in, opening over the curtain call, returning, looting the arrow onto Archie. Redemption saves the cow's life. He would say probably anyway with the Unbreakable Will. And after all of those ultimates burnt and all those resources used, J-Team will back away with big minion waves in the side lanes.
After all, Immortals can go back towards the Baron because there's still TP and Flash on Kennen. So it just delays the plan from Immortals of setting up that Baron and fighting against the Cassiopeia without a Flash. Is there any wards behind? There's one ward just above the Baron pit, but that's not ideal position for teleport. Immortals might have to just go back, reset the whole thing, get new control wards, get new wards. Yep, Fofo just out of vision. Flame, high chance he's actually looking at his team at that point. Like, players obviously click around a lot, and just when he's about to react, he gets ultied from out of vision, can't react in time, and goes down. Immortals getting an Infernal Drake though. And again, we're kind of at the point where I need to just reset, get your new Sidestone wards. You can see Ollie coming back from base, get your control wards, reset up around the Baron, and you still have a few minutes until Flash is ready, and you take that fight. Ollie really needs to just pull the trigger with his Flash once he gets any sort of opening.
It's like I was saying in Champions Select as well, lots of ways for Immortals to get into this fight, and Jay can't stop everyone from getting on his carries. So, we come from Dalek flank, Pobelter, Ollie, Flame, Ash Arrow.
Yeah, and
lots of ways.
That ward Ollie placed for Flame to TP on was sadly in a very standard location, so instantly got cleared out by Jay. There's another ward now at the red buff. That can be the TP ward in case Flame is split pushing. Right now he is with the team though. Starting the Baron. They're looking for that fight.
Immortals on the Baron yet again. Going down very fast. Baby. Curtain call secured by Dardock. Archie goes in. Archie goes out by Fofo. He's on the front line.
Oh!
What an ultimate from Morning, knocking away the ulting Kennen. Redemption comes down. Big heal on the side of Immortals. But the Baron is now over, and hopefully they can crack open this base.
Huge ulti from Morning there. That could have gone horribly wrong for J-Team. Fofo staying alive because of Morning. Lose the Baron though. It is what the Immortals need to get into the base. And with this second Baron, they should be able to open up some of these inhibitors. Game flow we have seen before, so Ollie's staying here to just deny Archie's entrance to the Baron pit. Get him down, and look at Fofo taking a lot of damage without Flash, and then, oh,
what
Flame.
timing.
Almost getting in there, but great timing from Morning. That's just well played by the puppy.
For sure, and Fofo, he was trailing the team because he also got in there and landed a triple ulti, so he was also doing very well. Oh, you're going on a journey with me, mate. Dardock wants to get out though. Wall jumps, and Ollie's there to protect him. Was not a magical journey he wants to be taking today, but he's fine.
Alright, before, no Flash and Cassiopeia, we switch it over to BB now. Another easy target to go for Ollie. Still haven't seen him enter the fight on this Alistar. Obviously he was on deny entrance duty.
Dardock knocked against the wall. He's taking a lot of damage, but he'll jump back towards his ally. Going to be blocking up the arrow with the Banshee's Veil. Nice ult over the wall from Pobelter. But it's Dardock who's going to pay the price. And Immortals with his 4-man stack and the super minion wave coming in with Baron buff.
Jungler though, Morning can TP on them. He's actually moving in now. It's 4v5. J-Team on the way.
Charging up the hammer, triple man, ultimate and Flame. He does have the ultimate still. He's going to jump onto Baby. He's dropping solo Fofo as well. Flame, no kill, no dice. And 2 fast kills over to J-Team. Did manage to break out, open the base, but lost 2 members for it.
And this game is getting a little bit weird. Immortals really struggling to use their advantage and their strong composition to actually force these proper fights. Sick ulti again from Morning. Getting 3 in, perfect for him, honestly, just leaving 1 behind. He can charge into his team. BB just staying alive in the end. Very close to going down, but 2 perfect ultis from Morning on this Poppy. J-Team picking up a few kills. Sadly for them, they're not able to get any objective in return. They're just able to kind of delay Immortals right now. Mid tower is down, so inhib is open, meaning Immortals can go in there and force a fight around it. Did use a lot of summoners on their own though, and might just have to wait for another dragon to spawn. It is an Elder Drake coming, and remember guys, on this patch, Elder Drake doesn't get stronger itself like it used to do, depending on how many dragons have been taken that game. The buff itself is just like before, only lasts 30 seconds longer, so Elder Drake really is a better late game objective. It is very important now to actually play around it, because you can take it down so fast. It's really hard before. If you had like 4 dragons and to take Elder Drake, it literally took forever, and the enemy team would just show up and contest it.
It's a nice change, you know. You don't want to get punished for actually taking those objectives beforehand, so now you can actually capitalize on it.
It's one of those objectives you can use to now close out the game in these more in these slower periods of the game. Problem is obviously it spawns so late, like 35 minutes into the game, so you can use it now, and Immortals might just wait for it to spawn and then grab it, and don't want to risk like an open 5-on-5 teamfight at that inhib. J-Team will try and contest it most likely, and that's where we have seen some tricky fights, like tanking the Elder Drake, looking at the enemy team exactly where they are can be difficult.
Especially with the disruption from BB, long range curtain core. Fofo getting in there with the ultimate could be scary. Dodok, I don't think he knew what was around the corner and managed to dodge all of it. And now they go back into the mid lane with this exposed inhib, try and take this one away, but Ashi is around the side along with Morning to try and make this flank happen. Yeah,
this is actually just as much a play on just forcing J-Team to stay mid, so that Immortals, if they don't go for inhib, can just beeline straight down to the dragon after, and J-Team have to kind of follow behind them because they're forced into defending mid tower. So it's not so much a play for like rushing inhib, it's more just forcing the enemy team's position on the map, so you know exactly where they are, you can see every single member in front of you, and you know you can walk and face shake bushes down to an Elder Drake.
And I've lit up the bottom side jungle of J-Team like a Christmas tree. So if J-Team try to contest this dragon, then Immortals will have complete vision of them as they try to make their way down there.
That's where we see the trip down. J-Team obviously have to then follow, and then the problem is, when you don't have any vision in your own jungle and you have to follow behind them, they can stop in every single brush on the way, and you face check them and you die. So that's why J-Team is stopping, and just really smart play. Like, it looks like a play for inhib, it's actually not, it's just positioning, and then if J-Team wants to stop the Elder Drake, they have to face check like 2 brushes at least, and it's just too risky without flashing your Cassiopeia.
Oof.
Fofo using a Ghost there. And that's just a really smart like macro play from Immortals. And now they have Elder Drake with 3 dragons, so they're super strong, and now you can get in here.
Pushing down the mid lane, they have this Elder Dragon, should be able to make something happen with this one. At least in a team fight, they will be significantly stronger. Archie, he's sitting on top of a control ward from his own team, so he knows that no one can see him. Charging up the Poppycopter, knocks 2 away, but not actually that far. They're going to instantly regroup.
And then we have a wave in the bottom lane from Immortals as well, so they want to just take this inhib and then rush down and grab that wave.
Nice hook onto Dardock though. This could be the start of something great from J-Team. Redemption coming down will heal Dardock just a little bit, and Morning evaporates. Was not as tanky as his team was hoping for. An inhib will go down for Immortals. They will rotate to the bottom lane, try and replicate their success on the next tower.
Yep, and they should be able to do it again. Remember, Elder Drake lasting 30 seconds longer is very important for these late game pushes. Good big wave here. Immortals are grabbing. Easy push in towards this tower. There is no front line, seeing as Poppy is dead. And whoopsie.
Well, that was the engage we were hoping Ollie was going to do. Unfortunately, he didn't hit anyone with it.
His Alistar needs some work. That's definitely one thing we can conclude from this one game. Anyway, trying to go for that one play. Ended up backfiring, and Immortals now, instead of actually getting that free tower, is losing a member again. That tower was there for you to just take it.
And that's even worse, Deficio, because that's 50 seconds on Dardock's death timer.
And that's
Baron has just spawned. So,
And Morning has teleport. He's alive now, coming with home guards. J-Team just going straight for Baron. Big mistake from Immortals, and they might get punished. Let's see. Flame is still insanely fed on this cannon. If you can get into the Baron pit.
oh, great miasma wall. Flame can't even flash in there when he's on top of that. Morning with the TP. Where's the secure? Archie! I think he got it. No, it came into Orianna to steal from Powelter. Now Flame will get in there as well with the ultimate and take down 3 members. Dardock is still down, but that's 4 kills. And despite that Archie being secured by Fofo in the end, I misread the kill counter. Doesn't matter, Immortals killed everyone.
Exactly, like Baron, Rek'Sai, it almost looked the same in the images, but Archie had no smite, so he was waiting and waiting, and they stayed in there for such a long time. Immortals pushing for the finish now.
And what a way for this game to end as well. Looked like J-Team had the advantage. They got their pick onto Dardock, and in the end, only Fofo left to defend this lone super minion on top of 4 members strong. Dardock looking to reinforce. Immortals should be able to finish this one off. Nothing that Fofo can do, unfortunately. And the Nexus will finally go down. Immortals secure it. 2-1 over J-Team, and to secure their spot in the semi-finals.
Playing the long con there. Sacrifice Dardock to give them false hope. Think, you know, oh, you can run Baron now. You can start the Baron. And then 4v5 collapse on them and kill them all with Orianna, with Kennen.
It was the long con.
It was definitely a bait. To be fair, Immortals are much better early game in this one. Sorry, much better mid game. Early game was the tricky one. But then late game, just like we saw from J-Team, some clear issues when it comes to actually closing out this game. Yes, it is difficult to close out the games, but a few too many individual mistakes. And Ollie struggling on the Alistar as well in this game. There were definitely a lot of situations where you're like, okay, Kennen, Lee Sin, Alistar, no flash on the enemy carries. That should be a pretty easy engage, and they never really managed to pull it off.
Theoretically, but in the end, Immortals provingly were the superior team on the day.
Yeah.
And made this series work for them. 2-1. Flame, bit of a back and forth performance, but in the end, had some real highlight moments on the day. Really cool to see from him.
I think Immortals can be very happy with the pickup so far. I think actually Flame and Dardock had a lot of games where they were the big carries.
Oh yeah.
This one here in the end, definitely not an exception. Flame obviously on the cannon, getting super fed in the laning phase, dominating that lane, getting over 100 CS on enemy top laner, and overall Immortals make it out of this group. Probably would have hoped for 2-0, but J-Team did actually have some good games here towards the end. And we get now Samsung out of seed number 1, Immortals out of seed number 2, moving on to the semifinals, and they will of course start on Friday.
Yeah, and a win's a win, ultimately.
Definitely.
And still securing that second seed. It was a little dicey for a bit, especially with J-Team taking 1 win in that best of 3 and having a very good early game, getting multiple kills. But in the end, Immortals were able to pull it back. And then, of course, tomorrow we'll have Group B. We'll have exactly the same format, so exactly the same amount of hours, and we'll be starting at the same time tomorrow.
Yep.
So make sure to tune in for that one. Got some interesting teams coming out. Kongdu Monster, of course, Dark Passage, Team Liquid. So lots of interesting teams for tomorrow.
And Giants.
And Giants, of course.
Our
How can
EU
I forget
friends.
coming in from EU? Very similar lineup. Knight's still on the team, so we'll see if Knight can pull off some magic and go in and go ham.
Him, Hoslin, and Losak are the only faces returning. Everyone else on that team is new, and I mean it's the same for most of these lineups. You know, a lot of roster changes in this offseason. Like almost every offseason in League of Legends, we have a lot of changes in every single region.
Very few teams stick together. Samsung was one of the ones who pretty much only had the same lineup, and when you win finals at Worlds, you're like, maybe we're a pretty good team. Maybe we should stick together for a bit. But you can see the results from Group A. Samsung took it over Vega Squadron, who are now eliminated, unfortunately. They had their run today. Samsung swept Immortals in that 2-0. And then Vega Squadron, of course, lost to J-Team, taking us to that last game we had before. And tomorrow, you can see the next matchup will be starting the day with Kongdu Monster versus Dark Passage, followed by Team Liquid and Giants Gaming. Remember, both of those will be best of 1s before we go to our winners matchup in the winners bracket, best of 3. Losers matchup, again, best of 3. And then the decider matchup, the one that you just watched that we just casted, will again be best of 3. And that will decide another semi-finalist.
Yeah. Pretty happy our BO3 today here. The decider match actually went all 3 games. Fun to kind of track how the teams are evolving with some of their new rosters. The pick and ban phase as well goes from being sometimes super boring because it's just like the same picks, you know, like Poppy Maokai, 24/7, boom, boom, and then you see some of these changes, and I like to see how effective they can be. Kennen coming in as one. Haven't even seen Jay's top lane yet. Haven't seen any like unique AD carry picks other than the MF that obviously didn't work too well for Lex earlier today. But definitely are some other interesting AD carry choices available out there. And it's going to be interesting to see how the meta evolves over or during IEM, if there will be a new emerging pick that becomes very, very strong.
I think there's a chance, right? Because we're on 6.23. Teams have had a little while to adapt, but really, like, mini metas start to form in every tournament that you play. Like, we just watched All-Stars, and even though that wasn't necessarily a good representation of how, like, a normal tournament will play out, we did see a lot of different picks and how they perform and how they play against some of the best in the world as well. So you can kind of pick and choose and be like, well, this looked good. Let's see if we can actually make it work in an actual professional tournament and bring it home. Because there are interesting picks in the mid lane. Of course, we were on the assassin patch, you know, lots of new assassins. Not all of them necessarily good picks right now, but it looks like we're being played out to Fischio. So it might be time to say goodbye.
Yeah, I feel like I've watched enough LCK to know when the music starts, we are moving towards the end. How long we have, that is a mystery. We will find out. At some point, I assume the camera will zoom away from us.
Well, I don't know whether to say goodbye or
and we're going to be like, goodbye.
Yeah, so as soon as we start getting the fade out, I guess that's when we'll say adieu, say goodbye. But for now, I think we have a bit of time. Question mark.
We got epic
I'm
music
used to
at
this,
least.
You know?
Hey, I mean, this is our first time casting in the OGN studio.
Yeah, it's cool here. I
Bit
really
enjoyable.
like the studio, yeah.
Absolutely love the venue in here. It looks super, super awesome.
Really sick.
I feel like a bit of a king sitting up here because you can see everything, honestly.
Great chairs. Feeling like a king.
I'm actually just looking at the Korean casters, and as long as they are talking, I feel like we're also going to talk because that's
a good point,
that's kind of our way to know, like, when they say goodbye, we can also be like, goodbye.
It's like, you know, just good tap on the nose, and it's like, all right.
Team America signal, you know, like a panic signal. Woo! And then we know something is happening. They're still chatting, we're still chatting. Let's talk about some interesting TP plays. Now I do believe they just said goodbye.
Okay, we should probably say goodbye as well. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to be heading up very soon, but remember to join us tomorrow at the same time. We'll be saying goodbye to you. Bye!